Meet my student Blaji. We've been already working together for over a year, and he actually makes 200K every single month. He's already over 2.1 million this year alone with only one store, okay? And here comes the crazy part. He's only 20 years old. To even imagine this is absolutely insane, and I let him kind of talk a little bit more in this interview to just pick his brains even better and to really dissect and understand what he does right, okay? So clearly he does a lot of things right, and I also saw how he deals with problems and what he specifically does to actually achieve those numbers. Trust me, there's gonna be a lot of value bumps here. So watch this whole interview from the beginning to the end, and trust me, you will not regret this, okay? His average order value is super high, and he's selling a really high ticket product, which is amazing, especially for advanced people, okay? I would not recommend doing this as a beginner, but for advanced people, this is perfect. All right, so let's just get started.
Welcome, Blaji. It's going to be an interview with one of my students, Blaji. We worked for ages already together. And yeah, basically, you can tell your story, what happened to you over the last couple of months, years.
Hey, Michael, thank you so much for having me. Yeah, basically, I started e-commerce around 2 years ago, like seriously. I had one store that I started when I was still 17. And I remember I was trying to sell like stuff for dogs, stuff for huskies. I guess that's everyone's first store, trying to sell that something that you're passionate about. So basically, I was not knowing what I was doing. I was trying to run some different ads. I bought some shitty course, and I had to like run engagement ads to third world countries. So it was a pretty shitty strategy. And then I kind of left it for around a year, and I started again in September 2019. So my strategy was to run a store to the EU markets, copying a working product in the US markets. So that was my first like semi-successful project, but it was nothing like very extraordinary in terms of like revenue and profit. Yeah, so I sold the store in the beginning of 2020, and that's when I met Michael, and basically we started a store. The first product that we tested was successful, and from there I started believing that dropshipping could make you very, very good money, and it can literally transform your life in just a couple of weeks. I remember that it was a pretty wild time for obvious reasons, and we had a lot of problems with fulfillment and shipping out the orders properly and on time, and there was a lot of delays. And then I had a ban from PayPal, which basically prevented me from scaling the store to its full potential. So the next 3 to 4 months were pretty rough, I would say.
So before that like rough period, how much did the first initial good product actually make?
I believe I made around 60K before the hold. And for the next 2 to 3 months, I think it was around the additional 40K in revenue. So it was around 100K in revenue for the first 3 months.
Yeah.
On a very good profit margin, to be honest. I think it was over 25% on average. So even though I had the hold, I scaled up pretty well. I believe I could have sustained at least 5K a day scale if the PayPal hold didn't happen. But yeah, I mean, it's just a part of the game. And the shitty part is that back then I couldn't find any solutions. I tried to open up new accounts. They were having holds. Tried to open. I also opened a new company in order to have a new PayPal, and that was also not helping much because I had to have these. If you open a American company, you need to have different documents which take a lot of time to obtain. And it was a very, very tough period. But that initial traction actually gave me the belief that you can succeed with dropshipping. and you don't actually need to be extremely good at creating the most beautiful landing pages, the most beautiful stores, and trying to perfect everything. I guess the best way to gain traction, especially in the beginning, is to just switch off your brain and follow a specific proven strategy and just go 100% on it. I mean, I remember that we started with free plus shipping products, and I was having the opposite belief that you have to run a branded store with very, very high selling price and very good margins, and try to buy a lot of data before you can make some profit, which is a very risky strategy. But then you said that we're gonna test free plus shipping, and I was wait, uh, wasn't that dead? But I mean, I already paid for the mentorship. I was already into it. I already bought the idea. So I said, yeah, I mean, I just have to do it, and I just have to test it out because I've already committed, and that's why it actually worked out. And after you commit to one strategy, to one person, and you have the belief that it's going to work, it actually ends up working, and it's just a numbers game until something works out. I mean, for me, I mean, maybe basically I was a little bit lucky that the first product was successful.
Mhm.
But it's a numbers game, and out of a certain amount of products, depending on the quality of the testing, at least one will turn some will bring some cash flow, and the next one can be profitable. The third one could be even more profitable. So it's just really a game of numbers, especially with testing products. So yeah, that's basically how it all started. That was like my first big success. And after the PayPal codes, everything became pretty rough because I was testing products, I was testing different stores, but nothing was working extremely well. The
Mhm.
profit margins were quite thin, but I was still making some profit. The main problem was that PayPal was holding my money for 21 days. And it's the shittiest feeling on the world knowing that first, you're not making a lot of profit, so your margins are thin and you're in danger. And second, that you can't access your money in order to sustain the business, and you have to be pretty smart with your expenses because you can run out of cash pretty quickly, although you're making some profit with your business. So that has really taught me a lot, but it has really slowed down my business and my growth. And it's still like pretty problematic for me to sustain a good cash flow.
Mhm.
So it was a lesson learned. But yeah, I mean, one of the biggest lessons that I got from it is that you have to you have to build backups, um, like almost all the time, because when things are doing good, it's very easy to forget that everything can go in a entirely opposite direction in just a short matter of time. So then I doubled down on creating more PayPal accounts and making sure that customer service and fulfillment uh, are high quality. And right now, for example, I know that I have 3 to 4 healthy PayPal accounts, and I can always rely on them. And if one goes down, I can easily switch to another. And whenever I have the possibility, whenever I have, for example, a new store popping up and bringing sales, I will create a new account and let it process some transactions so that you can have another backup in the future. So having backups is probably one of the most important things for drop shipping. Also, like, one should start in the beginning, and that should never end, because you can just never go out of backups, right?
Yeah, for sure. The backup thing is so important to have risk management. Every single thing you do, it has to be diversified a little bit. It doesn't matter if it's a Facebook account, PayPal account, if it's even products. You have to have multiple products like which are doing well at the same time. All of those things are super important to maintain this longevity. And in the beginning, it can feel like really like good to have one good thing, and then you rely on that, and all of a sudden everything goes down and nothing works at all anymore. However, if you would have like multiple things always at the same time, that kind of this risk factor always goes away. And yeah, I would 100% agree. It's so important, and it's like one of those like the first step after you found a winner. That's going to be the next step to have all the risks like as low as possible. Obviously, as you said, like the first thing you need to have is the proven concept that dropshipping works, and you had that. You made the first 100K in like the 3 month we worked together, and then like you understood, okay, theoretically it's possible that we can do this, and that's what kind of also held you to keep going after the like after basically the shit started to start becoming real, you know. And when all the problems occurred, you still understood, okay, if I overcome this problem, it's not a big deal because I will make the money back, and it's going to take some time, but eventually it makes sense because dropshipping works. And yeah, it's like it's the key factor after you have the proven concept is the risk management.
Yeah, exactly. And like during the process, you can run into a lot of expenses and you think that you're investing a lot of money and you'll never get it back. But after having one successful product, you will basically earn enough money to test for the next year or so. So the risk involved in drop shipping is actually pretty low because you're not hiring people up front. You're not ordering inventory. You're not doing anything. It's still a very low risk business, even though accounts are getting shut down and it's much harder to advertise on Facebook. CPMs are constantly going up and so on. It's still the lowest risk business that you can get into. Obviously, you can start with services or doing some freelancing stuff in order to get the initial capital. But I mean, it's a proper business and it can be automated pretty quickly. It can run and you can literally make money while you sleep. Especially when you're living in Europe, because most of your sales are coming from the US, and they actually come when you're sleeping. So it's a real business without this initial cost, and many people are skeptical about it, and they can't even imagine putting down 1,000, 2,000, 5,000 bucks from their pockets to start a business. But if you actually want to start just a proper brick and mortar business, you need 10 times that, and the risk is even higher for it to not succeed. So I think that's still the best business to get into, even in 2021, and even with all these tracking problems and Facebook problems and so on, there's always a solution.
Yes. And if you combine all of the problems which are there in dropshipping, which there's a lot of them, it still not even comes close to the thing which is like if you actually open a real like offline business, a real one, the risk involved is just that it's so much higher because the upfront cost is insane. And if you compare with that, you just have to understand that it's like nothing to invest in dropshipping. But if you compare it with like I don't know, like a $50 course, which is going to tell you, okay, you're going to be immediately a millionaire. Obviously, then the comparison is going to be different because then you think, okay, that only costs $50, and for dropshipping, I need more. But you have to understand that there's no business which you can start without any budget. So right now, for like after kind of all the ups and downs, right now, how much are you making? How is the profit? How is the revenue?
Yeah, basically after well, I was still having those problems. I decided to test out something differently. So I started a higher ticket store with a business partner of mine, and it all started on the side, just testing different stuff, not on a very high budget. but it actually gained traction during Q4. And I remember we made at least, I think, 6 figures in revenue maybe in the following 3 to 4 months. So we kept the store running. The offer was running pretty well. And right now it's on at least 10K per day. It's been quite unstable since the beginning of Q4, but we've been able to sustain this number, and we're looking forward to scale it further coming into the holiday season because it's also a giftable product.
Mhm.
So these are the numbers right now. There was a lot of ups and downs again with this product. We also got a PayPal ban, and there was a lot of money held there, and a lot of stuff. Basically, we got a DMCA takedown in the beginning, and then we redid the copywriting and everything, and that's when it actually started working well. And we
Maybe you
got,
quickly screen share
yeah, for
to kind
sure.
of show how it looks.
Yeah, so let me check the monthly revenue. Sorry. Yeah, so these are the numbers for this month.
Mhm.
Yeah, we've been doing a lot of AOV optimization lately and trying to get people to buy more stuff from the store.
Nice, nice. So this
So
is
these are
like
the, yeah,
10K plus per day. Yeah, nice.
yeah, so we managed to scale up even to 15K days on some
Mhm.
occasions, but then it dropped down. So right now we're only running Facebook and Google ads, and there's some Snapchat ads as well. So it's not just Facebook bringing the traffic, but the majority is actually coming from Facebook, and Google is mostly for retargeting and brand name search campaigns.
Mhm.
Fortunately, we got disabled from the merchant center, so we're not able to run any shopping ads. But it's
Mhm.
still Google is a no-brainer, especially if your product is proven and your brand is starting to get more recognition in the niche, because it always gives a very good ROAS for little to no effort.
Yeah. And here maybe you can also show like the last month. That's fine. And
You
we
mean
can kind of
September?
see the yeah. So we kind of see the comparison of the scaling process.
Yeah, September was pretty rough, and you can see the conversion rate was lower.
Mhm.
Also, the summer was not the best because it's a seasonal product. So that's the downside of seasonal products, is that you cannot rely on them all year long.
Yeah.
So as you can see here, we had a much lower conversion rate.
Mhm.
So that's basically a signal of much lower demand, also lower AOV.
So would you
Um,
say it was because external factors, basically the season, or did you actually change
yeah,
it
I would
to get a
say,
higher average order value conversion rate?
you mean recently?
Yes. Well, I see that every month, like the average order value and conversion rate was going up a little bit. Was it because
Yeah.
of external or internal risk?
Yes, so the all-time average order value is around 215,
Mhm.
but I also added additional step to the one-click upsell,
Mhm.
which we can get more into uh, after that. But basically, I added a thank you page offer,
Mhm.
which was essentially the same product with a higher discount compared to the first two post-purchase offers. And the take rate is actually 7%. It's lower than the first two offers, but it's still bringing additional $6-7 to the average order value,
Nice. Nice.
which is actually not that bad. I mean, it's
It's free money.
still some, yeah, it's free money basically.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Nice. You can stop the screen share, and I'll actually maybe tell you a
Mhm.
little bit more about the profit margins and also how much you made over the whole period. Also.
Yeah, so the overall profit margin has been fluctuating. Um, when we first started testing the product, we had very good ROAS over on Facebook, uh, close to 5, or I don't know, 5 point something in the beginning, but it was not a high scale, of course. And then the CPA started to go up, which was quite normal after several months. But we also managed to get our cost of goods down, and that's more upsells and then make the AOV higher. So that was a pretty big factor. So the overall profit margin is after VA costs and refunds and all that, maybe 18 to 20%. And the store has done already more than it's done multiple seven figures in revenue, I think 2 point something.
Nice.
So the profit margins, even though summer was not the best period, are still healthy, and they're getting to and they are improving further, getting into Q4. So right now it's all about optimizing the business and trying to extract the most out of each customers. One of the main problems, for example, is that we don't have a very high returning customer rate, mainly because of the nature of the product and of the niche. But also we haven't had a lot of additional offerings on the website. So for the most part, we've been selling the same exact product over and over and over again, which of course in the beginning it's the best way to go because you're very focused. You're not trying to test all the different stuff and not optimize the one thing that's working. But right now we're trying to add more products that we can, for example, bundle or sell as a post-purchase offering or even pre-purchase or with email. So we're experimenting with some complementary products. But yeah, I mean, if the deal breaker for the store and the reason why it was successful is first that the niche is quite passionate. So that was the main reason we actually tested the product. We knew we had some proof of concept from a competitor, and we knew that the niche is very passionate for these products. And combined with some good content and with some good ads, it actually started working well relatively quickly. And the second very big reason why it was successful was the offer. We introduced the offer initially for Black Friday, but we stayed with the offer because it was converting pretty well. So this offer actually boosted our AOV up by 20 bucks. So it was around a maybe 10 to 15% increase, and also boosted the conversion rate.
So what did you change about the offer specifically?
Yeah, we created a buy one get one offer. So we actually set the minimal quantity of the order to 2 because we saw that a lot of people were buying 2 units at the same time. So we just reframed the offer. Like people before that were still buying them, and they were even buying them for a higher price. We just reframed the offer, and we just made them buy 2 by default. And that actually rose our conversion rate to over 1%. And combined with the higher AOV, it made the ROAS also much higher. So it's always very important to test offers. I mean, every successful project that I've had has been connected with a great offer. So firstly, we test the free plus shipping product. I remember testing normal pricing for the product and it didn't work. It was just a very compelling offer that people would basically people were just seeing it as a very good deal, even though we were charging, for example, high shipping price for the free plus shipping, and we have a good markup on the higher ticket offer. People are still seeing it as a very good deal, and that was the reason why the free plus shipping offer had over 10% conversion rate. on the better days. And like I remember one day it had even 12% on the highest scale that the store had ever seen. So it's really about finding this product market fit, so to say. Uh, like it's not always needed to create these special offers. Even just the normal offers would work, but it's always worth testing out different ideas after having a proven concept. I remember I had like different ideas. Let's do a big discount, or let's do buy one get one, or let's do the quality breaks. Initially, we only had the quantity breaks. So this thing can actually transform a business.
I would
Um,
100% agree, especially if you have the understanding of what to split test first. It's a game changer, because every single time you're at a break-even point, or everything is like a little bit profitable, then a little bit unprofitable, then it's break-even, or it's a little bit profitable but it's not consistently having the margins you want. You need to understand what the priority of your split tests are. And if you're going to start split testing only like your captions or specific things on your product page, probably maybe it would change something, but probably it's not going to happen. And you need to understand, okay, the very first thing I need to test are the creatives. Then after that, the offer is going to be the key, like the pricing, the different types of
yeah.
offers. It doesn't matter what it is, but the offer itself, as in, okay, I have a product which is now like which I'm selling for $40 now. How do I know that it's not going to go better if I sell it for 50 or for 30? I don't know that. I never tested it. And I'm just relying on, okay, other people sold it for 40. That's why this is the best offer. Maybe it's true, but maybe they didn't test it out also. And you need to understand, okay, you need to test the other prices as well. Then you see, okay, 45 is actually doing better than 40. And then you try something like a little detail, like, okay, 46 will be maybe even better, or 44 or 43. Like those tiny differences actually do make a difference in the end. And then you start with all the upselling. And upselling is like one of the biggest things when you actually are breaking even or making a little bit profit. You start doing like proper upsells with, for example, the buy one get one free, buy two get one free, or you have like specific upsells in the whole funnel. And those do tend to actually change the profit margins quite by a lot. And you have to understand, every single upsell you make, it's pure profit. You don't like pay anything for Facebook ad costs anymore. You just pay for the person to get to your store. That's the cost of acquisition. And after that, the traffic is already there. If they buy one or two pieces, doesn't matter. Like you don't pay extra, obviously, except for the product. So yeah, it's like I've seen you do a good job with especially that, and it's obviously it's been showing.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, like even if you get to if you do all that, and if you split test creatives and everything, if you manage to lower down your CPC just by 10%, make the AOV higher by 10%, and also convert at a 10% higher conversion rate, you're gonna have 33% increase in revenue, right? Because it all compounds. And if you then sell to the same person over time, and they spend they make 10% even more, make 10% more purchases on your store, that adds up to a 46% increase in the revenue. So it's pretty crazy if you run the numbers, how much you can optimize your business just by some small marginal improvements.
Yeah. And it's important to understand that those small improvements, you have to do it over time. You don't have to hit everything perfect. Don't have to think of all the perfect upselling structures and all of that before you have a proven concept. First, you need to test it out, have a proven concept. Okay, this product works. It at least breaks even or makes me some little profits. And then you can dial down specifically on all the different things. And that's also a big thing people get wrong. They start focusing on so many details before they have a proven concept, and then they either don't even test the products because it took so long to set up the store. They now think, at this point it's already saturated or whatever it is, the season is off, and then they stop, or they test it and it doesn't work, and they wasted like hundreds of hours of everything. And I know one guy, he started selling, or he started to set up a store in a specific niche which like is like it's basically it's like sexual niche where you cannot even advertise it on Facebook, but he didn't know that, and he started to started to set up a store with hundreds of products. Took him half a year to set everything up perfectly. After half a year, he realizes that you cannot sell it on Facebook, and basically he's like, all right, what am I doing now? And it was all everything was just for granted. And if he would have just tested one product, like one product in his category, if he would have tried to test that on Facebook, he would have immediately realized that like that's it, you know, next niche or whatever. But yeah, it's crucial to first have a proven concept and then go from there. But one other question I have to you is like, what from the mentoring or from the program or also from dropshipping doing it in general, what are kind of the main learnings you had so far? And yeah, what was new to you?
Yeah, so the biggest lessons that I've learned are maybe to not get that emotionally attached to different stuff, because I've made that mistake to prepare a product and take a lot of time for it, and I've had situations when I've also never tested a product because I thought that it was too late. So I've done all of these mistakes. So the mentorship, giving me he's always giving me a lot of clarity, because you've tested probably hundreds or I don't know how many products. You've had a lot more successful winning products, and yeah, you just have a lot more clarity. And when somebody that's successful tells you, no, you just have to move on, or you just have to test these things and not give up on this thing yet. You have a lot more clarity, and you feel a lot more sure about the right path, because especially with e-commerce and business in general, there's so many different options. I think the biggest problem is that there's not one single path to doing sales, to be successful with e-commerce. There's like 1,000 different opportunities, and they all work. You can make it work with different ad platforms. You can make it work with different platforms. You can make it work with different types of stores, with different strategies, and so on. So it's really about focusing on one thing, focusing on one strategy in the beginning. Obviously, after having proof of concept, you can deviate from that and experiment a little, and try some new things that you've never done before. But it's really giving you that focus and giving you that like there are some people that say there is no elevator to success, so you have to pick the stairs and so on. But I think having a mentor is really like the elevator to success, because you're buying someone's years and years of experience, and this person has also bought years and years of experience. So that really adds up, and it really accelerates your process, especially if you don't have all the time to read, let's say, marketing books and go through all the different content on YouTube and cherry pick for you what's gonna be best. And there's a very, very high chance that even after doing that, you're gonna feel overwhelmed, and you're not gonna have a clear strategy or a clear way to test the product and to run a store. So yeah, the biggest thing that a mentorship gives you is clarity, and another thing is the network. So we kind of created a very, very good network with the other students. I'm still talking quite often with other guys from the group. We are sharing some ideas. We're always helping each other. So I think one of the most valuable things that are maybe underappreciated in mentorship is actually the network that's created. because it's always there's always someone sharing resources. We all go through the same shit every single day. We all get banned on Facebook. We all get different restrictions, payment codes, and everything. So it's really like entrepreneurship can sometimes be lonely. So actually having other people doing the same things and going through the same obstacles is really, you know, giving you that mm, mental support that you need.
Yeah. Yeah, really good answer. Both of the things I cannot agree with more. The first thing you said, like with picking a strategy and actually following up with it, it's so important because it's in everywhere in life. Even if you go to the gym, you're gonna see like 10 big guys who are gonna all tell you different things and why they got big. You use this type of diet. Some views like intermittent fasting. One is gonna tell you, okay, low carb is the way to go. It doesn't matter. In the end of the day, you cannot mix them together. And you need to understand, okay, this guy, I'm following him because he knows what he's doing, and that's it. I don't mix what he's telling me, what this guy's telling me, what this guy's telling me. You can do that later on and kind of layer things in. But in the beginning, you need to understand first the basics. And the basics are always going to be either the same, or if they're different, they're going to be tons of similarities. And both is going to work, but you just have to pick one. And if you mix it, it's not going to. So yeah, it's like it's very, very important to only focus on one strategy. And I've been like guilty with that a lot in the beginning. When I started out, it was really bad for me because I was buying courses left and right, and I was like doing all this like weird things, like video courses, not even people who helped me, and like watched so many YouTube videos, but nothing really helped me because I was mixing strategies and trying to pick best parts from everywhere without even knowing where the best parts are. So it was very like almost impossible to understand which parts to actually pick. And at some point, when I also then got a mentor, everything changed for me because then I was almost there because for me it was like I already was doing it for like 10, 11 months and things were not doing well. However, I made some revenue and I just had a basic understanding of dropshipping. I started to understand it. And when I got a mentor, it took me like a couple of months until everything blew up because I focused on only his strategy, and I took my product, which was like not working by myself. I changed up the offer, I changed up the things on Facebook, and it blew up after like 3 months. And it was just because I was following that one strategy. So yeah, I cannot agree more with that, and with the community thing as well. Like as many like every single trick anybody can give you. 1 second. Like it doesn't matter what it is, but if somebody can just give you one single trick, it's already been worth hours and hours and hours of conversation. And everybody is going to give you like a lot of value if you don't, like if you ask the right questions and if you talk to them long enough, as long as they're knowing what they're doing. And because we already have a lot of successful people in the community who are in the program, it's like you kind of it's easier to pick and to understand. Okay, I'm sure he knows what he's doing, and he's not bullshitting me. So I know, okay, I can trust him. And this exchanging is it's huge. For you, the next question is like, how did dropshipping in general impact your life? How much do you work for dropshipping? How many hours per day? And how did all of that change for you?
Yeah, so basically I started dropshipping while I was living in Bulgaria. So it's not the country where you have the brightest future in, wages low and so on. So I grew up in a good family. I would say we were not having financial problems and so on. But I really wanted to be financially free, and I was not dreaming about all these flashy stuff and so on. But I really wanted to know that I can do whatever I want and have the financial possibility to do it. And that was really the main driver for me, you know, the freedom. So after starting with dropshipping and digital marketing in general, I didn't really change my life much in terms of my daily activities because I'm still living in a very humble way without spending so much money on expensive shit and so on. So my lifestyle hasn't changed a lot, but I'm starting to experience all that good stuff with being independent and actually being able to travel the world and explore different locations. It's just the feeling that that you have that peace of mind that you actually have a business behind your back that is generating you good money. Just relieves so much of your daily stress, and you're not thinking about how you're gonna get by the next month. So that's been the biggest game changer for me. It was not that much the lifestyle; it's just the feeling of freedom that you start to get after running your first successful store, and also mm, it gives me a very broad perspective on what's actually possible in terms of business in e-commerce. Because if you manage to first systemize the business and then multiply those successful stores into a series of brands and a portfolio of successful stores, you can actually get into very high value business, high profits, and that will be really life changing. And at some point, if you end up exiting the business for a good for a good amount, then it's really like you wouldn't even have to work again. So that's my my goal with the store that I'm currently running is uh, to make it a proper business, to make it run on itself. And there's like already there's steps already taken. For example, the customer service and the video editing and the social media management is all outsourced. Uh, the next step would be to find good, for example, media buyers and more high level managers for the store in order to make it even more automated. But even without these positions, it doesn't cost me much time to run the store. Right now, it's much more about thinking of different ideas how to optimize it further. For example, how to increase the customer lifetime value, how to increase recurring sales, and how to maximize the upfront profit and so on, and actually implementing those changes. So right now, the work on the store is more about more like more about macro changes that actually take a little bit more time to implement, but in the end of the day, they're worth it um, because they can really transform the business and make it even more profitable. So, for example, right now, me and my business partner we started working with an agency to make a custom version of the product so that we can differentiate from competition and really increase the value of the business, because the resale value of a dropshipping store and a custom product store is obviously different. You can get much better multiples for a custom store compared to a dropshipping store. And I think a lot of people are not thinking about the potential value of a business if it's structured right. I mean, if you actually have a good product that is having and the store is having happy customers, so the fulfillment and the customer service are great, people are willing to buy again and again, and the store is in a very good niche that is like evergreen, and you can sell multiple different products in this niche. The potential value of this business is very high, and you can make, let's say, 100K 100K in profit in 1 year, which is completely doable. But then you can sell the business for at least 2 to 3x the yearly profits. So that's also money that will come almost immediately. So I think that's one of the even when testing a product, it's a very good variable to just think about the potential value of the market and the potential value of the store after you scale it. So that's why I would advise people to create like good, not great looking stores, but overall a great customer experience, because the initial impression and the initial fulfillment of that customer will be determining the success afterwards, and the feedback score, and basically the longevity of the business.
Yes, yes. Yeah, also to that, I couldn't agree more. It's very interesting what you said previously, like where you said, okay, you're not living this like crazy luxurious life, even though your business is making really like serious numbers, right? So if it's constantly making at least 100K per month, or like at this point, 200K, you could be affording more into like luxury things and doing all of that. But normally people get burned really quickly doing that, especially in the beginning. And you did a pretty good job of not falling into this trap where, okay, now I make enough money to basically live this crazy life. And first you understand, okay, you're pretty, how old are you?
I'm 20. I
Yeah,
just turned 20. Yeah.
yeah, so you're super young, and you basically have a lot of time to start spending money later on. Right now, there's no need for it at all. Right now, you need to focus as much as possible on the business, and at some point sell the business, and then you can start like doing all of the crazy stuff. And even then, you have to understand, is that the thing you're striving for or not? So yeah, like I've seen it from the get-go that you like started to consistently stay like humble and don't go crazy about anything, even though it started to work well. And this is pretty tough. Like I've seen a lot of people, especially like younger people, where it's just they don't understand the difference between profits and revenue. And even after, even if they make good profits and the profits are good, even then they don't understand the difference between how much you make in profit and how much you can actually spend and how much you need for the business. And most people don't understand that 20K profit every single month don't mean that you can spend 15. Like you cannot spend 15K at all, not even close to that, if you make 10K profit per month. And you have to make way more to actually start spending 15K every single month. Like for private expenses, you have to make really serious numbers. So obviously you could, but it's not going to be long. Like it's not going to last long if you're actually going to do that. And on top of that comes that in the beginning, I've also done that. Like when I saw, and one of my big mistakes was I had one mentor when I started out, and it was just the initial success phase where he helped me out. And then I started to do everything by myself. And I kind of really regret that, because when it started to work, I've fallen into so many pitfalls where people could have saved me, where like I basically didn't have anybody to guide me through it. And I did so many mistakes, especially in that area where I didn't understand that, okay, if I make, let's say, 20K profit per month, what I thought were 20K profit per month, it was much lower, because first of all, my profit calculation was super off. And second, the refunds were coming in and I didn't even worry about all the customer satisfaction. I was doing a lot of mistakes, and I ended up losing everything again, just because I basically did not have a mentor following through with like the success. And also I started to, even when the months were like doing okay, I started to spend really dumb money. It was not necessary at all. And yeah, looking back to it now, I understand, okay, it was an important lesson, but I could have learned it literally by just the person telling me. I didn't have to go through all of that. And that's why I'm always preaching the whole like mentoring thing, because it's so serious. Like you can either learn the hard or the easy way. And everybody, like most people say, okay, there's no easy way, but there is if you are smart enough to listen to people who were doing those problems. And if you constantly have to learn from your own problems, it's a very tough way to go about life. It's very, very, very tough. And yeah, like from my side, what I can say is there's so many pitfalls in the beginning and also after you found the first success, because when you found the first success, it feels like, all right, it's gonna work forever. The margins will never decrease. I'm never gonna stop making money. I'm good. I'm set for life, basically. That's how I felt.
I guess
And
everyone has felt like that.
yes, but then reality hits and you see, oh shit, no money on the bank account left because this happened. I got scammed by like VAs. I had like I literally was spending 5K per day every single day on Facebook ads unprofitably without knowing it. I was doing really stupid mistakes and I was losing like $500 to $800 every single day, and it added up really quickly. I lost all the profits in a matter of like 20 to 30 days, and like everything was gone because I did simple mistakes which could be avoided. And now I understand, okay, I like there's always like people who are above you and like know the problems which you're facing. You can just avoid that by having the right people who are going to guide you through it. For you, as like maybe one last question here is, what would be the main advice you would give to a beginner just starting out in dropshipping? Because a lot of the people who are watching this channels are beginners.
If he's someone like me, just to turn off his brain and listen, and not try to understand everything, because I literally tried to understand every concept behind why is this product working, why is this strategy working. No, you just have to commit to one thing, do it, and then try to understand it in order to replicate it and make it better the next time. But the first time you just have to commit to one strategy, turn off your brain, implement the way that it's been taught. So there's people obviously smarter than you that have a lot more experience that you're actually, for example, paying mentorship fees for, that know much better. Even if you read all the books, even if you read all the if you watch all the courses, they're still gonna know better what's going to work and what's a good strategy, because they've spent so much time in the market and actually testing products, and they're giving it to you so that you'd better listen and implement. And I have a set of reminders that I've saved on my computer that I always go through whenever I feel stuck or whenever I feel like I'm not going in the right direction. So the first thing is that your customers actually pay your bills. So in order to just simply put, in order to make more money with your business, you just have to attract more customers, obviously in a profitable way. And also everything in business and life can be learned, so it's a learnable skill. I guess if you're a generally intelligent person and a smart person, it can obviously take you less time to make something work in a very high quality way. But it's not actually needed. Everything can be learned, especially with dropshipping. It's not a set of very specific skills. You don't have to be an engineer to run some ads on Facebook. So you just really have to double down on improving your skills, but not by just watching content, just consuming content, which was my mistake. Instead, you just have to spend more time testing products and actually getting real feedback from the market, because like also with this stock exchange and with the trading, it's the same. Time in the market is more valuable than timing the market. You can't always find the perfect time and the perfect opportunity to launch a product and have that 100% success rate. No, you just have to get your hands dirty and spend time in the market, get more feedback, because that's what gonna ultimately give you the confidence. Because if you end up having successful projects and do it over and over and over again, you won't have any regrets, you won't have any self-doubt. You're gonna build that confidence, and you're gonna become unstoppable. But you just have to commit in the beginning, and make sure to go through that learning process. But yeah, before everything, the market feedback and the experience in actually testing products and testing offers on Facebook and testing stores is the one thing that it's going to make the biggest difference. And it's not actually about that much about skills. It's like 95% balls and 5% skills. So it's all about putting those ads live and getting beat up the first time and getting that real feedback about how good your stories, how good your product is, instead of just trying to make everything perfect. And in the end of the day, uh, it doesn't end up working. Then you feel like overwhelmed and you feel that nothing nothing is working. Dropshipping is that. No, it's just a false strategy and just a false mindset. So yeah, like, and just having a mentor gives you a lot more clarity. And every beginner has these thoughts: is this thing gonna work or not? But just by committing to a mentor and paying a mentor will give you a lot more motivation to actually go through all these initial limiting beliefs. But that's what happened for me, and it was actually the mental change and the mental clarity that I received that actually made the biggest difference when starting the mentorship. So that would be my 2 cents for beginners.
Yes, and also especially what you said about stop thinking, that's so important. Because like you said multiple things combined. Number one is you said, okay, because I already committed to you, that's why I executed your strategy. You would probably not do the specific free plus shipping thing because you think, all right, I would never buy a free plus shipping product. That's why this doesn't work. All right. It doesn't mean anything. If you don't buy anything, like if you don't buy something, it doesn't mean nobody would buy something. And just because you committed to the strategy and already had a financial investment into it, you actually started to invest, like to commit to it more and more and more by executing, and it worked. And you did stop thinking, even though you had these doubts here and there. You still did everything without this thinking process and without thinking, okay, maybe I should do it like this or this. And that's the main thing I see between the successful students and not successful students, because I'm not going to lie to anybody and tell you, all right, all of my students are successful. It's just not true and it's not reality, because people don't execute. And a lot of people don't execute, especially because they start thinking by themselves and think, all right, this wouldn't work. I would not get this. So let me just do it like this. And they do it and it doesn't work. And they think the whole dropshipping thing is like, it's not working. Dropshipping is dead. Let's just leave it at that. And yeah, like not thinking and only executing is so important. And if people actually master only that and find a good person who's going to guide them, it's going to work. I would say that like from all the students I had, Felix, maybe you probably know him, right? He is the one guy who does not think at all. Like in the beginning when we started working together, he was not thinking at all, like zero. He was only doing what I told him, like 100%. And this is like one maybe part of this like German like working mentality where like they're just machines that
Straight line,
exactly,
yeah.
yes.
And that's why he's done I don't know, 2 to 3 million in revenue, right?
Yeah, he's doing good numbers. But yeah, that's like one of the main reasons, because he literally didn't do anything else than exactly what I told him without any back thought. He turned off his brain and just did it. And for you, I saw like a similar thing where you like stopped thinking at all and just like executed with some doubts here and there, but it's still like you still did the things, you know. So yeah, really appreciate you being here. For sure should repeat this at some point and maybe have like an update where you're at even higher numbers. But yeah, appreciate you being here and see you in the next calls. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Michael. And I'll share some screenshots after Black Friday.
Yeah, for sure. Also, I forgot one thing. If you're watching this and actually want to join the program, click the link below, sign up for a free consultation session with me personally. We're going to find out if everything is a good fit. If it is, we're going to actually get started working together. And if not, we're going to leave it at that. So yeah, basically sign up for that below this video. And yeah, see you guys there. Take care. Bye-bye.